Myths are the stories we tell ourselves to explain the world around us and the world within us. There is a conflict in every human heart between the light and the dark, between good and evil. And the light does not always win. Sometimes the darkness overcomes what Lincoln called the better angels of our nature. Well, I cover all of the basics anyway. Plot, structure, theme, dialogue, characterization. But I put a mythic depth into it for people and say, did you know that you're doing this mythic theme? And most of us don't, but most writers intuitively are tapping into one of those wonderful old stories. It's what you do as a writer. And we keep telling the same stories over and over again. Does anybody in your story actually make a positive change in their personality? I think there should always be some element of sacrifice. And remember that the word sacrifice means to make sacred. You got a lot of people out there with petty little gripes, and they're going to do it. They're going to point the finger, because humans can sometimes be pretty venal and tacky and mean. And so you give people a big target and they're going to throw everything against it. Love is at the center of so many people's lives, whether it's they've got plenty or they don't. Give us someone or something to be sympathetic to. Give us some danger, and give us some kind of salvation or resolution. I like to just use the initials SDS. Sympathy, danger, salvation. You shatter something in their lives, and they just go, what the heck? Why bother? I'm just going to get mine. And in this instance of the myth, it's very dark, and the whole world suffers because of their loss. Ultimately, there comes a time in the life of a dark magician, in their career through the dark side, that it just doesn't work anymore. And then all that they have been holding back, whether it's aging, someone who's had the youth spell, whether it's rotting from the inside out, whether it's being slain by the tools that you used to slay other people, it eventually comes back. Someone realizes they've got to change in order to get what they want. So there's still a little bit of selfishness in it, but if they do it well, if they do it with humility and integrity, it can work. What is their path? And then, do you want them to stay there? Do you want them to grow into the next level? Or are they going to be taken down to a lower level and then try to struggle their way back up? Or maybe they're switching from one path to another. Winners write history, losers write about love. Because the losers aren't doing anything. They lost in love. So they're the ones who will write about love and idealize it and how they think it should be. When you have someone operating from the higher levels of psychology and consciousness, it's more from the heart than it is from the loins. When we say falling in love, note the word falling. Another thing to keep in mind is symbolism. And we all use symbols all the time. It's, once again, just who we are. It's the oldest form of art, right? Look at your cave walls, right? Symbols going on for 70,000 years now. There are 3 levels of symbolism. There's the emotional, personal level, there is the situational or environmental level, and then there is the conceptual level. Take 3 levels of opposition. There's internal, and then there's opposition from those around you, family, society, culture. And then on a bigger level of stories, there's the opposition from the big outside, bureaucracies, aliens, tsunamis. A missed opportunity is a factor of idealism, because that opportunity is not a fact. It's an opportunity. It's a possibility. And onto that, we can cast all of our dreams. And I think most of us have had those moments, the glance across a room. You're crossing a street, you look at somebody, they look at you, and you go, yeah. And then you both walk on, and you think, should I just go stand on that street corner forever and wait for them to come by again? And some people do. But I think the thing about a missed opportunity, most at its core, the reason that it reaches us so deeply is it offers that question, what if? And we could see, might that have been the perfection that deep in our hearts we are all striving for? In my work with writers, we identify what mythic theme their story is on and a subplot, and then work with archetypes for their characters and symbolism, and certainly the power of the dark side, which is ever so much fun and can really add a lot of depth to characters. So I infuse my work with writers with the ancient but still very current and fabulously useful tools of mythology, so they can more consciously use all those great old classical story tools. And you go, oh yeah, that's brilliant.